Okay, that should be a bit better. We're gonna go raw. Alright. I think I'm going okay right now. Let's see what happens. Look out, kitty cat. Hey, buddy cat. You right? If I die before I wake, these
Demolition. All targets declared hostile. Happy hunting, Crimson.
That time never back.
Hostiles have planted the bomb.
Fuck you.
Bomb offline.
Ape shit. Oh, come on. I was using that earlier.
The enemy's planted the bomb. Bomb defused. Enemy charge is set.
Fuck these guys, man. I'm not having a fucking good time with this right now.
Bomb deactivated.
Their children? She claimed the other woman was our surrogate since I was unable to have more children. Then said that I didn't want the babies because they were boys, which is an absolutely disgusting thing to be accused of. Well, I decided it was time to clean up this mess, and since I was mid-divorce when my ex died, I had all the evidence I needed. And since the divorce wasn't completed, I don't have any legal ramifications for releasing all the evidence. I was off the next day and went to a print shop to get copies of all the delightful pictures of my ex cheating. His text conversations with his affair partner, the ones with his parents confessing to his cheating, and getting support from them. My in-laws harassing me about the divorce, and my coup de grace. All the emails and text messages of them bullying my daughters about their baby brothers. In one of them, they called my daughters bastards and told them that it was their fault their father died since they told me about the affair and I began the divorce. That message was literally 2 days after my ex died. I paid extra for all of this to be printed out in beautiful, high-quality paper. Then, when I got home, I sat down for hours to make delightfully personalized binders. They looked like the little prayer song packets the church gave to everyone to sing hymns. The first picture when opening the binders is my ex and his side woman making out in our living room. Their faces are easy to discern, and the girl looks nothing like him. Different skin tone and hair color. Underneath, I wrote, ex-husband's name and affair girl's name, love story. I took the books to the church before service. There's a desk in the back with songbooks for people who need them or forget to bring their own, and they're never checked. The gossip mill was quick and harsh. The names that my ex and his affair partner got called in the Facebook were so bad that the pastor himself had to get involved just to keep things relatively PG-13. People were angry at my ex-in-laws for their abuse to my daughters. But what made me laugh is that they thought that I was still in the wrong for the divorce. But it is understandable that I failed on my duties after the shock, and I possibly will one day return to the light, unlike my cheating husband and his Jezebel. They used another word that I can't use here, I imagine. I got 2 apology letters in the mail for my girl and an invitation to join the church for support. As for my ex-in-laws, they got shamed into leaving the
Salem,
church.
get the fuck out of
My
that.
ex-mother-in-law made
Salem.
a post on her wall
Salem.
about how alienated she feels and how no one
God
cares
damn
for the elderly anymore. How she wished her great son was still alive since he would have taken care of her and her husband. With what money? I don't know, since I was the breadwinner. Down in the comments, this reply from Harry Horrocks feels very relevant. So, fun fact. Somebody did a study of estranged parent forums and estranged grown-up children forums to compare and contrast the attitudes therein. The adults always post vague stories and emphasize the emotions they're feeling. Like, my child won't talk to me, and this makes me feel bad. The children, however, post evidence. As in, this is why I don't speak to my parents, including this screenshotted email chain. That was r/pro revenge. And if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day. Welcome to r/malicious compliance, where someone causes a literal explosion. Our next Reddit post is from Weird Engineer. Back when I was a junior engineer, I was working with a piping contractor supporting a gas plant project that was in the final stretch before commissioning. We were under intense pressure to hit deadlines, and everyone was feeling the heat. One of my responsibilities was reviewing materials before installation, i.e. basic quality control, to make sure that we weren't about to install something that would bite us later. Then, the pipes arrived. These were large diameter, high pressure pipes for a critical gas line. But the moment I saw them, I knew something was off. The mill markings didn't match the material certificate, and some of the weld seams looked rough. When we took a closer look, we found surface defects and laminations at the bevel. Classic signs of poor quality steel from a dodgy mill. I flagged it immediately. My lead engineer took one look and agreed. These pipes were not fit for their purpose. We raised it with the project manager, expecting him to do the obvious thing, reject the batch and order replacements from an approved supplier. But this project manager wasn't like most project managers. He wasn't an engineer, he had a
Salem, the
bachelor
fuck are you
of
doing?
commerce, and he had landed the job thanks to his uncle, a senior executive. He had zero technical knowledge and didn't care to learn. To him, this was just another job to push through quickly to up his bonus, and rejecting the pipe would cause delays, something he was desperate to avoid since it would probably affect his bonus. His response? The supplier says they meet specifications, so they meet specifications. Just install them and move on. I pushed back, explaining that if these pipes failed under pressure, we were looking at a major incident. He waved me off. Just get it done. If it's a problem, the pressure test will catch it. All right, mate. Let's see how that goes. The pipes were installed as is, and we moved on to pressure testing. I stood back and watched. As we ramped up the pressure, the pipe's weld seam split wide open and ruptured the pipe. The force of the failure sent a shockwave through the system, and a few of the pipe supports even bent. The pressure test failed spectacularly. Now, instead of a minor delay to replace the pipes before installation, we had a catastrophic failure that shut down work for weeks. The entire line had to be cut out, re-welded, and retested. The supplier was blacklisted, and an internal investigation was launched into how the pipes had been improved in the first place. We were also forced by the client to bear the cost of this rework. As expected, the project manager tried to shift the blame, but my lead engineer simply pulled up the email chain where we had clearly raised the direct concerns. Management didn't take long to connect the dots. The project manager was taken off the project immediately and was sacked a month later following initial investigation results, and even his uncle couldn't save him. I never saw him again after that. Last I heard, he decided to pursue a career outside of the industry. Stories like this really prove the adage. Make sure you write it down, because if you don't, morons like this will try to push the blame to you. Our next Reddit post is from Meso Cesara. 15 years ago, I worked at a gas station as an opener. Because I was young and somewhat tech-savvy, I was also the de facto IT guy for the 3 stores near me, and had been heavily involved in setting up a new point-of-sale system for their 2 most successful stores when they were swapped from one gas brand to another. The company had made me the super admin on all registers, just for ease of transition. The owner's wife had been awful to me for the 2 years that I worked there. I got bumped to opener by her husband, and she hated having a man be an opener. Historically, every single opener was picked by her and was a woman. But her husband came and fired the previous opener for theft, so I got a field promotion of sorts. The wife was constantly scrutinizing everything that I did, constantly calling me in the mornings to be rude and berate me for a bunch of minor things that I did wrong. You used wet wipes on the area around the drink machine. I want you to use paper towels and spray. We were out of paper towels, and the spray we had smelled like a hospital anyways. I came in your store last night, and there were 3 rows of
I guess I'm just shit.
You could probably increase sales by putting 1 or 2 of those rows to a different product. Even though the Snapple fridge was 100% handled by the vendor, and we had signed a contract that we wouldn't change the layout of the product. Long story short, she was awful to me because I was a dude. I had set up their POS system because I was somewhat tech-savvy. I was made super admin on the new registers they had. I was desperately looking for work when I found a temporary IT job, which led to my current career in IT. I got a new job offer and gave her husband my 2 weeks' notice. But I never told her because I did my very best to avoid talking to her unless necessary. When she found out that it was my last week, she legitimately lost her mind. She gave me a ton of stuff to do and worked me to the bone until 2 p.m. on the last Friday I worked. Finally, the time to depart forever came, and she personally came with an office worker and stood by me and asked me to delete my account from the register. I knew that I was super admin, and I'd been told if I ever left to convert the account. She had also been told this, but she had long since forgotten about it. So I said to hell with it and complied, then went to the other store and did likewise while she watched. I go about my life, start my new job, and end up about 3 weeks in when I get a frantic voicemail and like 20 texts and calls from her. I called the office worker who stood over my shoulder with her and got the scoop. She basically couldn't change any prices at all when the new beer and soda prices started rolling out, and her new opener had just let it pile up because she didn't know how to do it, and they were going to have someone come train her. They had a bunch of items that were like 5 or 10% below the price they were supposed to be at. Margins on cases of beer are low, and this was nuking their profits. Once I thought it over, I texted her and said, "You asked me to do that. It's on video, and we have 3 witnesses." I found out later they ended up spending $6,000 to get the company back out to fix the issue. The boss's wife legit had a Facebook page at one point with people planning to poop on her grave when she died one day. To be clear, she's still alive. So I wasn't the only person she was awful to, but I do feel like I got one up on her, and it feels good. Our next Reddit post is from Mouse Street. This happened many years ago. I worked for a top U.S. banking institution. In our building, all the other departments were allowed to wear blue jeans on Fridays. My manager decided that our department had to wear business attire on Fridays. To be clear, we had no customer-facing presence. Also, our department processes check deposits from ATMs, and they came in mesh bags with armored warriors. They were usually quite filthy and were frequently wet in bad weather. So when our manager told us that we couldn't wear blue jeans on Fridays, like every other department, the entire team was upset. Here's where we cued the malicious compliance. The next Friday, I went to my closet and found the most mismatched outfit I could put together, sticking completely to business attire. We're talking pastel floral print shirt with pants with bold colored stripes. I put it on and proudly walked into the office. My manager just happened to be on vacation that week, so nothing was said about my ridiculously mismatched outfits. Fast forward to next Friday. I once again chose the most hideous combination of an outfit that I could put together. Once again, I walked into the office with my head held high, confident in my business attire. Imagine my surprise when I walked in and everyone on my team had hideous combinations of clothing. As you can imagine, my boss walks in and sees everyone in their various hideous outfits. The look on her face was priceless. All 15 of us in hideous outfits, but all meeting the business attire dress code. She pulled us all into a meeting and told us that our attire was entirely inappropriate for a business environment, and that she would have to write each and every one of us up. I asked her to pull up the company handbook and read the definition of what it said as business attire. She read it, and it said something like clean and pressed business attire consisting of slacks, skirts, or dresses, and clean pressed shirts and blouses. It went on to say something like no blue jeans, t-shirts, ripped or closed with holes, no sleeveless shirts, and no athletic or gym shoes. I asked her where in the guidelines does it say anything about whether the outfits matched or not. She couldn't find anything, and said that she would have to contact HR to discuss with them what her options were to write us up. Needless to say, none of us were ever written up. She did, however, say that we still needed to dress in business attire. Word quickly spread to other departments about her forcing us to wear business attire. The next week, 2 departments around us decided they would also dress up in hideously mismatched clothing. The managers of those departments quickly got in touch with our manager and put pressure on her because they didn't like how their employees were dressing. Our manager called us into a meeting and told us we could wear blue jeans on Friday going forward. Malicious compliance wins. Our next Reddit post is from Infinite Sour. A few years ago, I worked on security at a hospital. The Greater Health System owned 3 large hospitals, each with a 24-hour trauma center. It had a couple of smaller county hospitals and dozens of clinics scattered across 3 states. I worked at one of the bigger hospitals in a bad part of town. There were legitimate security threats on a daily basis. One day, I was told to stand at the main entrance and keep staff out. That was like, huh? Apparently, some middle management person wrote a new policy that staff members are to enter and exit the building through the west entrance only. The main entrance was to be used by patients and guests, and they didn't want employees cluttering the main entrance. Because, God forbid, people see medical staff upon entering a hospital. My job was to stand at the door and tell nurses, doctors, cafeteria staff, facilities, janitors, etc. to use the west entrance. Anyone who refused had their name written down and would be reprimanded later. Now, I had other stuff to worry about, like fighting in the emergency room, or people running to the helipad and taking a selfie with the lifelike patients, or dudes on PCP yelling at the wheelchairs, or the woman with dementia who wandered off and can't find her room. You know, actual security problems. The main entrance posting was a waste of my time, and it dragged on for several days. Until one day, I saw a man wearing a suit leading a gaggle of employees, all in business attire. The ringleader had an employee ID badge and was speaking enthusiastically to the group. They were heading straight for the main entrance. I said, "Sorry folks, gotta use the west entrance." The ringleader said, "What? Hospital policy. All employees must use the west entrance. We're gonna use this entrance." He points to the door behind me. "Okay, but I'll need to take your names down. Your supervisor will be informed." The ringleader stares at me like I'm the biggest idiot alive and holds his ID badge in front of my face for an uncomfortably long time. I took his name down and the name of every single member of his gaggle with painful slowness. I should add, they were all very polite despite my obvious lack of cares to give. Shortly after, the security supervisor arrives. The supervisor said, "How's it going?" I said, "Not bad. I have a dozen or so names," and I showed him the list. He says, "Is that?" He points to the ringleader's name. I said, "I don't know. His badge said Chief something officer. He looked important." "Chief Executive Officer?" "Yeah, I think that was it." My supervisor quickly walked away. It turns out the CEO of the health system was bringing a group of potential investors, the aforementioned gaggle, for a tour of the place. He was never informed of the main entrance policy change and was greatly embarrassed to be stopped at the entrance of his own hospital by some rent-a-cop. Suddenly, as if by magic, staff could use the main entrance again, and I could return to actual security work. OP, writing up the CEO of your company is such a power move. I love it. But, you know, props to the CEO. Despite him being surprised, as you'd expect, he did just let you do your job. Our next Reddit post, Pieces of Help. In 2021, I was working on a project with this manager, Mark, who was a real stickler for the rules. He was the kind of dude who wouldn't allow chit-chat in his team and loved an office day more than anything. Despite the fact that our team was external and all of us lived crazy far away, I've got a chronic disease, which at the time was kept relatively under control with infusions at the hospital every few weeks. Seeing as Mark didn't want to chit-chat, he wasn't aware that I lived with this disease. One day, I was in the hospital working from the bed with a cannula in one arm. For those who don't know, a cannula, if I'm pronouncing that right, is one of those plastic tubes that goes into your arm that administers medicine. We had our daily meeting planned, and I figured that it would be fine to call in without my camera, as they could still hear me just fine. And I didn't want to freak anyone out with the infusion line in the picture and whatnot. I get onto the call, and Mark immediately comments that he can't see my face. I tell him that I don't have my camera on today, and I don't elaborate, figuring that it's a 15-minute call, and I could just as easily be driving or something. Mark responds by asking me to stay back on the call after we finish. I comply, and he chews me out for not turning on my camera, saying that it's a rule that we all need to show our faces. Fine. I turn on my camera and watch his face go from red to white as he sees me in what is very clearly a hospital room. I tell him that I'm uncomfortable being on camera while I'm getting treatment, also not elaborating on what the treatment is for. His sweaty little face still brings me joy. It was a really nice moment to bask in, and I think about it pretty often when I get managers who like rules just a little too much. Workers are so dumb with cameras. I've got an editor who edits all these videos. I haven't seen his face or heard his voice in something like 3 years, and we get the job done together just fine. That was r/malicious compliance, and
somebody said like cars kill 1% of people dying from tire dust the other day, and like what that's
yeah, apparently tired of.
You know what? I think at this point, I love iDubbbz because iDubbbz is legit feeding me and like 10 other generations if I decide to have kids, which probably won't happen because I'm a YouTuber. So, true story. Once again, I was chilling, and you guys know where this is going. Watching Naruto. It's like I say this on every single video, but I promise you guys this is real. And I get this message on Instagram, and it says, I'll read it to you guys. Are you
Watching
going to react to
Naruto.
my cuts? I responded with, he dropped, because once again, I was not on YouTube. I had a very busy day yesterday. I do know that I dropped this video right here, which is a certified hood classic. Then they sent this video right here, which is called Concerned Trolling. It is honestly worse than I thought, and that's saying a lot. He talks about Creator Clash, and then he goes on to make a very weird video. I don't know how to describe it. The best way I could describe iDubbbz in this video and the video overall is if my dad and grandpa came back to life, picked up a phone, and recorded a video about nothing. And truth be told, at this point, my dad and grandpa probably has more energy than iDubbbz in 2025. I'm like, is he okay? Is he dying or something? Does he have a condition? What is going on with him? Why is he so lifeless? Before we get into it though, if you're new, please subscribe to the channel. Every single day we're getting closer to 600k. I want to hit it before the end of the year. I don't know if that's possible. We've got 6 months. Maybe if God is with me. But if you're new and you enjoy the content, make sure you drop a like. That helps the channel. And make sure you subscribe with notifications on. Let's get right into it.
For the first Creator Clash, we had the business model of after everyone has been paid for, the expenses of the event, all profits go to charity. That was the business model, and it was successful. Thankfully, it worked out the first year. Now, some people will be critical of one of the costs being parties for Creator Clash 2 and actually Creator Clash 1, because that's where we got the idea from. It was very successful for Creator Clash 1, or the event was successful. We don't know if the party worked to encourage people to promote the event, but that was the idea. You get a bunch of creators to show up to a fucking hotel the night before their fight, and they're going to post about it on social media, and the internet will be abuzz. And the event was successful, so we thought that that strategy of having, a little hullabaloo before the event and after the event was a good idea.
I said this before, I'm not mad at this. I think this is completely fine. It just looks a bit weird when it's a charity event, and then you see influencers posting about drinking, partying at a charity event. I get it, it happens, right? When there's big charities, I'm talking multi-million-dollar charities that celebrities donate to. Of course, it's a tax write-off, but do I care? No, as long as it goes to people that need it or to build stuff for that community, I don't care. I'm not here to morally grandstand and be like, oh, you guys shouldn't be having fun. It's like, no, I don't give a fuck. I think the problem here was the transparency. From the last video, all about transparency. Well, yeah, this event is all for charity, and then people see parties. It does low-key give a bad image of just rich douchebag influencers being rich douchebag influencers. That's just my opinion, and that's an opinion that I've seen across Twitter and other platforms. Reddit is another one. They're riding in private jets. It's like, it just feels weird. Now, I am mad for another reason, because I didn't get invited. iDubbbz, Anissa, I don't know if anyone's watching, but if anyone wants to invite me, I'm here. I'm not too far away from LA. I could drive there. This is literally me on my hands and knees begging for an invitation. I don't care if it was charity, or if it was a scam, or if it was fraud. We do not care. You know what we care about? The fact that Sensitive Society wasn't invited to this event. That is a true tragedy of Creator Clash 2 and 30. If you do this, I pinky promise that I will delete all of my mean videos I've made on you and your wife and everyone in between. Now that I've stopped begging, now we can resume the video.
And with that strategy, hoping that creators will post about it and be excited about it, and buzz will be generated. But it didn't happen. Or maybe it did happen, but it just didn't sell tickets. I would cross that off my list as a learning experience of, well, if you do this strategy, you either gotta force people to post about it, or you have to fucking, not do it. You gotta make sure that people are slapping each other during the weigh-in. That's probably what I changed it to. Because it's cheaper, It's a lot cheaper if people slap each other during the weigh-in. I just wasn't about that. I was just like, I don't want this fake drama shit.
Well, that's a skill issue on your behalf. That would have made it a lot more entertaining. You would have had the vlogs, the Twitter accounts, the drama alerts, talking about it. Blank just slapped blank. Dr. Mike just slapped iDubbbz. In my opinion, for this event to be a lot more entertaining, gotta do those kind of things, okay? You try to be quirky and different, it clearly didn't work, it completely flopped. you need to add some WWE element. Or it's just boring. If they just do a boring wait in and there's no trash talk, it's just like boring. Like you're only getting the die-hard fans and not the casuals. And if you're trying to raise money for charity, shouldn't you want the casuals, the normies? You want everyone to see this, participate, make money for yourself, make money for your company, and more importantly, make money for charity. That should be the move, right? If I was IDubbbz or I was running this event, I would WWE the shit out of this. Add a little drama, make it a little fun. I'm not even running this event, and I think I can run it better than IDubbbz here.
The for-profit side of the business is unincorporated with the charity aspect. So the charity partner is its own fundraiser that we sort of like push people to, you know, before, during, and after the event. With something like a charity boxing event, there's a lot of money that you have to front to put it on in the first place. And if you have an investor, you're able to do that. That investor is going to want money, they're going to want profit, but that at least gives you the initial funds to put on the event. There are other charity initiatives and events that allow people to spend money for a ticket and immediately get a product, and also their money goes to charity. These are usually big fucking conglomerates, giant companies that can afford that cost because they're selling you other things.
I've never run an event like this, and I most likely will never because it's just too much to deal with. I'm generally wondering here, I'm just a normie, right? How hard is it to get sponsors for your boxing charity event? I'm sure there are at least a dozen different companies, corporations, whatever you guys want to call them, that are willing to donate to fund you as a tax write-off. I'm sure there's like a lot of companies who are willing to sponsor an event like this. It's clean, it's family friendly, all ages, cancer research, charity. It's like, dude, some fucking multi-millionaires just sitting there wishing this could fall on their lap so they could be like, dude, fuck yeah, I'm gonna be able to write this off and not pay taxes.
It remains to be seen whether the for-profit business side of the event will be successful, but the main controversy, I would say, is that it was revealed with the change of ownership that Anissa and I, because we're 1/3 ownership of Creator Clash the business, that we were getting 34% of the profit share. We weren't anticipating this event doing well. Like, we wanted to do well enough to pay back the investors, of course. So that's one of the reasons that we were, you know, okay with the profit share thing. But another part of it as well is that the contract wasn't structured in a way that the profit share could just directly go to charity. It was told to us, like, you could just donate your portion of the profit share to charity after the event. So we were like, okay, fine. Now, I know some people will find it hard to believe that Anissa and I were just going to give our portion of the profit share to charity. There's nothing I could really say to, I think, convince them otherwise. It was up to our discretion at the end of the day, and if you don't believe us, I can't say anything that'll change your mind. I guess my only appeal is that year one, we made a bunch of money for charity, and I just got the fighter's pay like everyone else. And
really, boy? I was sitting down here before. Huh? finish they them. Okay. What the fuck? I have to share that with myself because that looks like a dream that I fucking used to have. Good. Nara. Shit happens. Yeah, you can see that one coming. Oh, bro.
Year 2 of the event, we definitely got nothing.
Showing a receipt would be nice to prove that you donated your 33% towards charity. Now, iDubbbz might be a lot of things. It might be pathetic, corny, but truth be told, I don't think iDubbbz is a scammer. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter be like, yeah, sure, we're just going to believe him, and I get people asking those questions. I think they're valid, and I'm like, well, I think a receipt would be nice, right? So you could be like, yeah, here, haters, just to shut them up. Do I think iDubbbz is a scammer? No, I don't think he's that bad of a person. I take that back. He is, like, kind of a shitty person. Never forget him justifying the CPS call. But besides that, I don't think he would scam people, and especially scam a charity. It just, can you imagine if it came out that he did? I mean, if his career wasn't 6 feet under, I mean, this will definitely do it. Once again, a nice screenshot of a receipt would have been nice. Right now, we're just low-key kind of taking his word for it. It feels like the life has been sucked out of you. Have a little advanced GG, okay? Use my code. I got you with the 10% off. Code Society for 10% off. Advanced GG. You get the energy drink. I got you iDubbbz, and I need to use my code. And if I ever get my own flavor of Advanced GG, I'll send you guys some free. Now that wraps up the creator class portion of that video, and we're just gonna watch a little bit of the actual video, the concerned trolling.
When I first started my research on concerned trolling, I was trying to find scholars on the topic. I know it hasn't been around for that long, but I'm like, surely there's someone who is well versed in the art of the troll.
He's mastered that art of trolling.
To my surprise, the scholar on this topic is Anita Sarkeesian. Yeah, it's been almost a decade since, like, the Gamergate time.
Let me know if you can't hear me or whatever, and I'll have to fix that.
I think Anita Sarkeesian was kind of onto something. There was a lot of assholes on the internet.
Ain't no way we're having this fucking Anissa argument in 2025. And I'm just out here agreeing with her. Here's the thing, man. I'm trying to be charitable towards this guy. Once again, I don't know if he got hit in the head way too many times by Dr. Mike. I don't know if this guy is actually retarded. I don't know what happened to him. But for him to be like, this insane chick was actually right. See, this is what happens when I'm nice to people or when I'm charitable. I'm like, well, you know, they're not as bad, right? They're not as bad as they seem. And then they say something like this, and I'm like, bruh, I don't even know how you defend this. And I don't know if it's a sarcasm from him. It doesn't seem like it, but I pray to God it is.
And go figure, the white guy 8 years later is like, I think Anita Sarkeesian was kind of onto something. There was a lot of assholes on the internet, and they're kind of misogynistic too, I think.
Drastic
It's
piece of
crazy
shit.
what a little CTE or the love of a woman will do to you.
Oh my god. Guys, I got laid when I was 29 years old, and now I see everything so clearly.
I see the colors of the rainbow.
Well, you know what I want to say. I want to call him the F slur, but I don't want this
All the
video to be monetized.
tides in the
So I'm gonna have to
sky.
do that to myself. You might be casted as a new 40-year-old virgin for the reboot that's coming out. This guy's like, oh,
Still
I
wanting to
touched
slit
the
my
woman in my late
wrists
20s. I
because
see
the
everything
world
now.
makes me want to
I'm
cry.
with her, and I hate men, and all men are are evil. You guys see what I have to deal with here? So if you appreciate my sacrifice and me sacrificing my last remaining brain cells, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel. We're not done yet. I actually want to take a look at the comment section because I need a break from iDubbbz. This guy is. Guys, I got my first girlfriend and now I hate you. Is that okay? Can I say that? Top comment says, guys, is Anissa's husband okay? I'm glad Anissa's husband is recovering from chemotherapy. This is very gay. Happy Pride Month. No trolling. I'm genuinely concerned. Wait, that's what your friends did to Ethan LMAO. Now, what he's referring to, or what this person's referring to, is a fact that this video is about concerned trolling. This is literally what iDubbbz's friends did to Ethan. And on top of that, they gaslit him. So, is the empathy talking, Ian? Is the empathy in the room right now? Was it in the room when you were filming Content Cop? Was empathy there? Ian, I would
Point to
always
this.
appreciate
Point
you
to
bringing
it
back
with for
Flame
us on
back
the
to
doll
limelight,
where the
but I
empathy touched you.
seriously hope I never end up like you. Damn, that's Cece's world. The GOAT. I mean, yeah, true. Dax Flame is a GOAT. I've been a fan for many, many, many years. Now, that's probably the best thing iDubbbz has done in his life. One of the only YouTubers I would like to meet besides, I don't know, probably Smosh, because I love Smosh. But Dax Flame is definitely on the bucket list. This video's shit. I'm gonna have to drop a dislike. This guy's like, I'm not a fan of concerned trolling. It's a bit weird, and it's literally what Hassan, Denims, Frogan, and others have done to Ethan. So, this is kind of tone deaf.
Most obvious definition for concern trolling
Not just
is when
Ethan,
someone is
to be
pretending
perfectly
to be concerned about a particular subject or cause, when in reality, they don't give a fuck. They're just doing it to either get attention, start a fight, derail a conversation. To be honest, it's very effective. Because back in the day, you could identify someone trolling.
Alright, I'm falling asleep. This video fucking sucks, dude. I'm dropping my dislike. Like I said, I was in my bed. I paused fucking
Yeah,
Naruto
actually, how long is this
Shippuden.
got to go?
I'm like in episode 70 something. It's about to get really good. I'm like, okay, let me go check this out. And it's like, bro, I was falling asleep to this video. I'm like, how could someone be this boring? I pray to God.
Yeah, even videos about pretty fucking boring.
In Elden Ring Night Rain, playing solo is quite a bit more challenging than when you're playing with a group. Some fans are even refusing to play the game without 2 other people. So what would it be like to try to complete an expedition solo without dying? In today's video, we find out. There's only one rule. I'm not allowed to die at any point in time, no matter what. No pressure. Okay, let's get this one-man band on the road. Dropping on in on an overcast day. Looks like we got some good RNG with a church close by, that's always good, and a fire cathedral, which is pretty simple. Especially with the bleed weapon, the fire monk will go to hell easily with the fire bleed weapon. Or not a bleed weapon. Okay. Alright, these men have bows, okay, we're chilling. Turn around and fight them. Just whack them up. So funny, you get him down to like a sliver of health with 2 hits. Just couldn't make it to 2. Alright, I hear a beetle. I guess I'll go check him out now. Don't see why not. Okay. Come on, Millicent's prosthesis. Millicent's prosthesis. Alright, maximum stamina, that's good. That's good for a dex build where you gotta be whack, whack,
Heal
whack.
those little fuckers? I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Ooh, what is this? Okay, reduced skill FP cost. I like it. That means, yeah, the unsheath won't cost as much money. Reduced spell. Spell. Okay. I swear there was another guy over here. I thought I heard it. Okay. Site of Grace. Where's the site? Where's the site? Where is the site? Bro, oh, it's down there. Right, it's down the frickin' hill.
Come on, sit down. You're
Okay,
pissing
near
me
the
off.
Choich. There it is. Alright. 1 level, baby. Level 2. Flask, then Fire Church. Is this stuff? Hell yeah, pickle turtleneck. I didn't mark the church. Okay, hurry. And get the hell. Oh, cathedral, I guess, rather. Get the hell out of here. Oh, this is the madness. This guy's so easy. Okay, we gotta do this. Ah. Bam. 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 Suck it. Boom. Second time. Suck it. It's not the best fight to do at level 2, but if I do this pickled turtleneck, we'll be chilling. We'll knock him down. We'll bleed him up. Yep. Do some mother effing. Okay. Okay, come on. Oh, come on. Roar! The way he roars reminds me of like the zombies from Resident Evil 2. Well, okay, get him. On his butthole. Drink. I don't think we need to waste the ultimate right now. Okay, come on, baby. There we go. All right. Oh. Drink. 1, 2. There we go. Okay. So, Albanworth bow adds fire to the bow. Improved charged attacks. That's pretty good. Okay, Dreams obtained. I kind of want that. Level up to level 4. Hell yeah. Fire Cathedral will be a piece of piss. And then we could probably get to level 5 after it. That's not too shabby. That was pretty fast. Fast Flask, decent level 4. Okay, now the real challenge is getting up this rock 3 business years later on the side of it. Like this. Okay, like these ladies are here. Bam! Ow! 1, 2, 3. Alright, they're dead in 3 hits. Hell yeah. I thought I timed that right. Get the hell out of here. Okay, sometimes, ow. Drink. Careful. Ow. Dude, I must have done a counterattack to that last one because you died in 1 hit. Stone Sword Key? Oh yeah. I love it. Okay, I'll put some fire grease on, even though we're fighting the fire monk. He goes down pretty fast. Just do some charged R2s to him. Bam, bam, stun lock. Bam, bam. Wait. Then an unsheath. It's kind of a, like, not foolproof strategy, because then he starts doing the flame thing. There we go. Alright, that's good. Fire Nagakiba. Fire Venomous Fang. Alright, let's take the Fire Nagakiba. We'll use that for now. Oh, no level up. Alright, we need 3k more. Okay, we gotta go in here. Let's hit the church. And it's going to be the next objective to have 5 flasks. Oh, for Christ's sake, how do I get up the hill? Go the whole way over here. Oh, there's a church down here. It might even be closer to the way I'm going right now. And then let's see. Hold on. And then, it's close to one. So is the other one. The other one's right next to a mine shaft too. So, yep, let's just do the mine shaft. Church and mine shaft. Upgrade the Fire Nagakiba. Do we have any sacred ruins or sacred cathedrals? We do, down there. Might be worth it to check that out on day 2. Alright, F you, chicken. I'm gonna get out of here. Get out of here. Okay, we gotta run our little ass up to the church. Oh, of course, this is like the worst, hardest way to get there. There's a bug down here, I hear it. Oh, I thought it would be down here, it's not, it's probably up there. That was dumb. Any spirit streams over here, please? Oh, God. Thank God. Get me up there. What is this? Improved attack power, low hit points. Hup! Yeah! But now I gotta get up there. There's a spirit stream. Don't see me. Don't see me, big guy. Boom. Hell yeah. There's the church. Gotta get to the spirit stream next to it. Oh, I have a stone sword key, but we don't have time. Hurry, hurry. There's a bug. I don't have time for the bug. Okay, hurry, hurry. Oh, but we're in the zone now, so now we're chilling. Okay. Up and out. Over and out. Okay. 5 flasks, by the way. Hell yeah. Alright, now what's the next thing we wanted to do? Oh yeah, the mine shaft. And maybe the ruins. The unmarked ruins, by the way. Pretty exciting. Okay, another church to the south. We need to get a smithing stone 2 to be able to upgrade the fire Nagakiba to +1. Okay, this one. Where is this frickin' tunnel? Down. Oh, it's up here. Damn it. Okay, lion's not gonna land on this frickin' crap. Go. Right? In here. We want the RNG where it's a giant, because he is the fastest fight, if you ask me. Quickest one. Quickest smithing stone 2 down here. We're already getting the weird layout one. Oh, and we're running into the zone. Up, it's a Leyndell Knight. Looks like we're doing the ult to heal and to kill the Leyndell Knight. Then we can't heal from zone damage while we're this beast, though. Come on, hurry. Hey, turn back. Drink. Oh, we didn't really need to do that? Okay. Night Rider Flail, pretty sick. Okay, let's get the hell out of here. Getting bit? Okay, good. Good. Maybe we go to the unmarked ruins now, fight whatever the hell's there. I don't know how often I see unmarked ruins. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe they have a little bit of everything. The Sacred Nagakiba. And we can hold off on upgrading this one. Oh no, oh, this is an Erdtree watchdog. F that. F that. Let's go to the Poison Ruins. Because the Poison Ruins will be a Perfumer, I think, which are frickin' easy. Alright. Come on, baby. Let's just stay out of the way of all the buttheads over there. Ugh, damn it. Okay, now we gotta climb up this way. Got a flask back, hell yeah. Get, please. Oh, it's these little boys. Oh, what the fuck? Jesus, he almost one-shotted me. At level 4, by the way. Blood loss. Wait a minute, this isn't a bleed ruin, this is a poison ruin, bro. What the hell are you doing? Okay, what is this stuff? Poison stuff? Starlight shards. Do that. Right.